but I know I'm trying to avoid calling and
Okay, I think we're only waiting for Commissioner Glenn, correct? And Patty?
Yep, there's Patty.
Oh, I see Mark now too. Okay. All right, so I think we can go ahead and get started today. So it's 1 p.m. on October 19th. This is a regular meeting of the Lake County Board of County Commissioners today. So we'll start first with the approval of the agenda. I sent out a revised agenda today, this morning. Yep. So we have Newmont Mining easement, opening of bids for Huck Finn Ice Rink lighting replacement, trunk or treat donation, and workforce update. And I apologize, I forgot and left off the courthouse boiler repair, emergent repair. Amber reminded me of that this morning. Can we add that to number 5 so that we can potentially authorize that to get done before the snow flies?
Yeah, let's add it, at least for conversation's sake, for sure. If not, yeah. Okay. And then the Newmont, I don't think we're ready to make a decision on that, but we can discuss a little bit when we get there.
Okay, sounds good. So we will add a number 5, which is, oh man, I'm sorry, you guys. Emergency boiler repair. And other than that, Commissioner Glenn, do you have anything else?
No, I have nothing.
Okay. So with that, I will make a motion that we approve the agenda with the addition of item number 5.
I'm sorry, I wasn't unmuted. Second.
That's okay. All right. So any further discussion, Commissioner Glenn?
No.
Commissioner Mudge?
Nope, thank you.
All right. None from me. So seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right. Thank you very much. So we will move on to the first part of our agenda today. The first is community informational items. So we will start with you today, Commissioner Mudge.
Let's see, we've wrapped up. Public Works has done a great job working with the Upper Arkansas Restoration River project up at the Dairy 3, and we are waiting on telemetry equipment to get delivered for completion of that task in our water augmentation planning. So it's very exciting, and much thanks to those guys for being up there and getting that hard work done. They're also, wrapping up the bridge project, which for those of you who do not know, I know I've had a couple of more questions in the last couple of weeks due to the kind of lingering of the project, but there were a couple of engineering issues that needed to be resolved for the completion of that. But that is project to improve river health as well and fish passage. So, which I know is an important thing in the community here. So just some projects getting taken care of, which is really exciting. And we'll be having some more meetings with CDOT on their plans in the upcoming year or two for resurfacing in the southern part of the county, trying to advocate for widening of shoulders, especially on Highway 300 to the fish hatchery and some recreation access down there. Let's see, I guess that's all that's at the front of my brain right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioner Glenn, do you have any community informational items at this time?
I do not.
All right. So the only thing that I have to share today is to let people know that we do have some donation boxes out around town for trunk or treat. So if you can donate to that for our recreation program, they would really appreciate it. The Department of Human Services and I are starting to work on a child care needs assessment for our community in the wake of Bright Start temporarily closing. So we will work on that assessment in the coming weeks and go from there. So that's all I have for today. Do we have any commissioner clarifications, Commissioner Mudge or Commissioner Glenn?
No, I don't.
Okay, Commissioner Glenn?
No, I have none.
All right. So we'll move on to the next thing, which is public comments on items not on the agenda. So today, if you have public comments on items not on the agenda, would you please raise your hand and we will call on you to give a comment. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes and keep your comments respectful to the board. So does anybody have any public comments at this time? No, I don't see anything. Okay. All right, let's see here. All right, so we will move on. I just received a message from our Director of Public Health. She is unable to log on to the update today as she is out of town and does not have reception. She asked that I pass on information to everyone to please look to the OEM website, which is www.lakecountyoem.org for an update. Dr. Lisa will post her weekly update there as well next week, or tomorrow morning, I'm sorry. In the meantime, if you have any questions regarding the county response to COVID-19, please feel free to reach out to one of my fellow commissioners or myself, and we will be able to assist you or point you into the right direction. All right, so with that, we will move into new business. Today, number 1 is Newmont mining easement. Commissioner Mudge, or I'm sorry, let's see here. Chris Floyd, do you have any update on the Newmont mining easement work with Cloud City Wheelers?
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I reviewed certain documents that were provided by Sterling Mudge after the last meeting when this was discussed, and was waiting to receive a copy of the existing MOU between the county and Cloud City Wheelers, which I received and reviewed today. And unfortunately, I don't believe it adequately covers the obligations that would be undertaken under the proposed Newmont mining easement. So my suggestion is we delay any decision on the proposed easement this time until I have a chance to work with Cloud City Wheelers through perhaps some revisions to the MOU. And then once we can get that, I think, ironed out, the other question is there were some revisions to the easement document itself that I think may need to be made. So I'll need to follow up with the Newmont mining folks, or Sterling Mudge can do that on our behalf if you prefer. But I think the documents are still in process before, for clarifications, if nothing else, before it's ready for the commissioners to make a decision on whether they want to accept the proposed easement.
Are there any other concerns from the board to give to Chris and add to that conversation?
I don't believe I have anything at this time.
Okay. This is just to reiterate, this is mostly on Newmont mining land. There is a shared ownership on one of the parcels of this 4-mile loop. And it is being proposed to be constructed or dug, I guess, not an asphalt. It's a single track dirt trail to connect to the mineral belt and the timberline trails. So greater connection of all recreation facilities. And yeah, I mean, Chris summed it up very well. We still have to do the revisions and talk through some of that, and then get an MOU that then includes, what the responsibilities of this facility would be between the parties. So sorry that that's not ready.
No worries. Okay. Thank you very much, Chris and Commissioner Mudge. I don't have any further questions on item number 1. Commissioner Glenn, do you have any questions on item number 1?
I do not.
Okay. So with that, I think we will move on to item number 2, which is opening of bids for the Huck Finn Ice Palace or ice rink lighting replacement. Sorry. I will hand this over to our Recreation Director, Amber McGee. Amber, I believe that you can share your screen to open those or show those to us. Let's see. I don't, oh, there she is. Amber, are you able to share your screen and walk us through the bids that you've received?
Yeah, apologies. I didn't realize
No
I
worries.
would be the one sharing those since I had sent them over for your packet. So if you can give me a few minutes, I can pull those up.
Yeah, no worries, Amber.
Okay, so this is the first bid that we have. It's from Net Zero of the Rocky Mountains. They have split their bid into 2 because of the cost. So this first price is for the competitive side of the ice rink. The total to do that is $18,058. The second price that they sent is for the recreational side of the ice rink, and the cost on that is $10,658. This is the second bid. It is from Pro Electric. Looks like they are including the entire project in one price. So to replace the 8 lights on both sides of the skating rink is $19,034.30. And the last proposal is from Encore Electric. Sorry, I don't know how to make this bigger. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can see this because I had to open it outside of email.
We are looking at it through your email in the smaller,
Okay.
the reshare screen maybe.
You can see that now.
God damn it.
Yes, not much better, but that's
I know,
okay.
I can't figure out, I can't read this. Let's see. No, oh, that's way too big. What is happening? I don't see. Oh, sorry, right here. Okay. So they are proposing this as one project as well. Looks like removal of all existing fixtures and replacement of those for a total of $19,043. And those are the only 3 bids that were received for this project.
Okay, thank you, Amber. And we will set a special meeting on Thursday to make a determination, correct?
Yes, I will be reviewing those tomorrow with Michael Irwin and Kevin Lineberger from the Recreation Advisory Board.
Okay. BOCC members, if you could please send me your availability for Thursday to schedule that special meeting to make a selection on this bid, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Amber, for doing that. I appreciate it.
Yes, no problem.
Moving into number 3, it is trunk or treat donation. So Amber, if you'd like to talk about trunk or treat, and then your request for donation, that'd be great.
Absolutely. So I think most folks know by now we are going to be hosting a trunk or treat event on October 31st of this month. We are hoping to just host a family-friendly event that will bring a little bit of fun, but be COVID safe to kind of encourage less trick-or-treating and door-to-door, and just wanting to kind of replace Trick or Treat Street and Pumpkin Patch since those events are not happening. So sorry, I keep saying we, the Recreation Department, requesting a donation from the BOCC. The traditional donation that the Board of County Commissioners makes is $1,000. I am asking that you double that for this year. We are trying to send all of the kids home with about 40 pieces of candy / goodies. We have some glow bracelets and different things ordered. But to do that, it's about $4,000. And in addition to that, we are buying some decorations for the event. So the cost is a little bit higher than traditionally. And community donation has not been high. We've probably only collected about 25 bags of candy and we have less than 2 weeks to go. So we're anticipating needing to purchase a rather large amount of candy to offset that. So happy to take any questions that folks have.
Sure. Amber, is this something that is intended to be somewhat long-term?
So
Like, would you do this in subsequent years? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good question, Kayla. So in my conversations with Sarah Dallas, it sounds like the folks that live on, sorry, is it 7th or 8th that do Trick or Treat Street are pretty burnt out. And that when the Stapleton Haunted House closed, they were considering transitioning the event to a different location. So if that is the true desire of the community, I think that this event could definitely supplant that and be continued. And I think, you know, COVID makes it challenging and everyone needs to be in a vehicle and drive through and have a mask on, but I think it could also be changed once those restrictions are lessened, or, you know, to be a walkthrough event, which is kind of traditional. It could be located, you know, at the high school. The drama students have talked about doing a haunted house in place of Stapleton. So we could, I think it could be a replacement. It could be something that continues into future years.
Okay. BOCC members, do you have any questions or comments for Amber?
I don't have anything, no. Is there another opportunity if we don't get to pass out all the candy? to share with other folks who might be doing other smaller things, or we getting some good feedback on participation?
That's a good question, Sarah. We really don't have a backup plan for if we have extra candy. I think we're worried about not having enough. And I don't think there are really other local efforts happening. So if there's extra candy, I think what we have felt would be best was to do some distribution through the school district or to, I don't know, the senior center or whatever other local organization feels like they might have a good use for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Commissioner Glenn, do you have any questions or comments for Amber?
No, not at this time.
All right. So with that, I will make a motion that we approve the donation of $2,000 to Trunk or Treat.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion, Commissioner Glenn?
I have nothing.
Commissioner Mudge?
No, thank you.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, great. Thanks so much, Amber. We appreciate it. And we will get to the boiler update after we have our workforce update. So sorry about that.
No worries. I'll be your
Planning. Okay, great. So with that, we'll move into our workforce update. We have Mark here with us from our workforce center out of Eagle County. So Mark, I think Sarah might be able to give you the capability to share your screen if you need it. And with that, I will let you take it away to give us an update.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Kayla, and thank you, commissioners. My name is Mark Hoblitzel. I'm the Business Services Coordinator with the Colorado Workforce Center for Eagle Lake and Summit County, and as well as I fill the role for the entire Northwest Colorado region as our labor market data expert. And thank you again for having us today. I'll do a quick review, kind of placing the situation as well as framing it. We were asked to sort of provide some information and to help sort of lay the framework for any future discussions on childcare. So I just wanted to include a little bit of information on those occupations in the area as well. I sent Janine a PDF of all these slides so they can be included in the packet and post-meeting materials for anyone who is interested, as well as we're happy to provide any additional follow-up information as needed. So this first slide looks at the kind of the total employment for Lake County area, the household income, and then wages from the most recent kind of reporting cycle for the quarterly census of employment and wages. I also included on the bottom Colorado, Eagle County, and Summit County as sort of a reference to kind of have that information, as about 52% of Lake County's labor force is commuting to either Eagle or Summit County on a given day. So you can see Lake County is sort of slightly above Summit County and slightly below Eagle County in terms of average hourly wage. The mountain communities, as well as the resort communities broadly, lag behind the rest of the state for an average hourly wage. This next slide is the kind of the labor shed area specifically for childcare workers. And it has the average hourly earnings, median hourly earnings, the jobs, cost of living, and kind of net commuters to or from each county. So you can see Lake County has about 11 workers that are working out of county in the profession, and has wages that are just behind Eagle County in terms of an average hourly cost. And this is sort of just a brief overview of Lake County broadly using census data. And so on this slide, those bar graphs show sort of the population projections as well as the current populations. And right now, about 5.85% of Lake County's population is under 5 years old. And then we have the race ethnicity breakdown between white, non-Hispanic, and then Hispanic and Latinx at about 65.6% white, non-Hispanic, and 34.4% Hispanic or Latinx for a racial and ethnic breakdown. And then looking at households with children. So this is just all households with children broadly. Those with 64% have children from 6 to 17 years old, and 31.6% have children that are under 6 years old. And then this small sliver, the 4.4%, is basically children in both age range categories.
Mark, can I ask you a quick question about that first slide that you showed us?
Yes.
The Lake County hourly earning rate, is that for a Lake County job or just an employee that lives in Lake County?
This is jobs in Lake County.
Okay.
So the top number, there's a couple different numbers here when it relates to wages. There's the 46.9K, which is median household income. Income includes things like retirement, trust, investment accounts, property, rents, Social Security payments, where wages is just wages paid by an employer. So that's like a W-2 statement, a payroll employee. And then, so the wage numbers come from the quarterly census of employment and wages. So those are jobs based on employers in Lake County that are paying employees through like a W-2, kind of a classic payroll employee.
Okay, thank you.
And so now we'll kind of pivot towards kind of shifts in the labor market as a result of the pandemic. You can see I was able to include Chaffee County on these slides, and it shows a progression of unemployment rates from February through August. The September unemployment rates by county come out tomorrow, and so we'll have it's about a month behind on a lag for county level unemployment rates. So you can see Lake County fared slightly better than Eagle and Summit County, which both topped out over 20% unemployment in April, and now is still performing better than Colorado on average, and the rest than the other communities in the labor shed at 6.6% unemployment compared to right around 8% for both Eagle and Summit County. And this looks at the initial claims and continuing claims. So these are unemployment claimants in Lake County. These would be Lake County residents, no matter where they are employed. So those collecting unemployment benefits. The blue line on the bottom is initial weekly unemployment claims. And if where there's a gap in the chart, that just means there was no new claims on that given week. The red is the continuing unemployment claims. And so for the most recent week, there was about 10 new initial claims in Lake County. And you can see in 2019, Lake County averaged about 5 weekly initial unemployment claims. And so 10 initial unemployment claims is within that realm, especially considering we're entering the fall, and with seasonal economies, there's always some elevated claims activity in the shoulder seasons or the spring and the fall for our communities. Continuing claims were actually about 8 times higher than the prior week. So that was 24. In 2019, Lake County averaged 24 weekly continuing claims. And then, so this was about 8 times higher in the most recent week, which is the week ending September 26th. And for Lake County, that was at 201 continuing claims. The next couple charts, this just shows the flow of kind of the shock to the economy and the labor force as a result of the pandemic for the labor shed of Eagle, Lake, Summit, and Chaffee counties. Lake is the bar that's highlighted in red. And then the other counties are the additional lines. And so this is the initial unemployment claims with the spike in the end of March, beginning of April, as it related to the public health emergency, and then reabsorption to the workforce over the course of the summer. This is the same chart, but for the PUA claims, so the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. And this was the expansion of unemployment through the CARES Act to independent contractors, sole proprietors, gig workers, kind of broadly 1099 workers who were not in employment covered by traditional unemployment insurance. And we saw probably less eligibility for the PUA in the high country than was expected. And a lot of that was a lot of people may have part-time jobs working for a ski pass or other programs that would provide them with a minimal amount of unemployment insurance covered wages. And they had to exhaust those benefits before being eligible for any other expansion of unemployment under the CARES Act. And this is just a countywide map of the state. And in the table on the right is the total employment and continuing claims as a percentage for the 10 counties areas in the Northwest Colorado workforce area. And you can see the week covered in this chart, about 4% of Lake County's total employment for 2019 was receiving some level of unemployment benefit. And that doesn't necessarily mean that those folks were unemployed. It could be workers that have had their hours reduced to a certain level and still be eligible to collect a level of benefits. This is a busy chart, so I do apologize, but what we're looking at here is job postings from 2020 and 2019. And that is the left axis and the bar chart portion of this. And so we can see that the trend of job postings year over year is down. It's anywhere from 20 to 30% given on a given community. So in August of 2020, Lake County had 92 job postings compared to 130 in August of 2019. The red lines, the shaded area, are the number of unemployed people. And so in 2019, there were 115 unemployed people at the time, where in August of 2020, there was still 307 unemployed people in Lake County. And so for businesses seeking to hire, that worked out to about 3.5 unemployed persons per available job. And that number is slightly less in September, but we'll get the final jobs postings numbers with the unemployment update on tomorrow. And so, that's still, we were in a situation in the mountain region and across Colorado where we had a tight labor market before the pandemic. And this sort of illustrates that it's still a very tight labor market, and it's not necessarily easy for businesses trying to find employees. Most businesses like to have a number of available candidates to choose from, and then understanding a potential skills gap for those that are laid off, what positions were available prior to the pandemic and what positions are available. There's not necessarily a direct trend correlation or direct alignment with someone's skill set as opposed to what jobs may be open. This is the same chart for Eagle and Summit County, and basically, continuing issues in both in the high country. Eagle County, there were about 1.3 unemployed persons per job. And then Summit County, despite having a highest unemployment rate of our labor shed, they've always been reliant on inbound and commuting workers. And so there was about, it was opposite, and it was a little over 1.4 jobs per unemployed person. So there was, in September in Summit County, there was about 2,000 job postings and 1,700 unemployed people in Summit County. And what we've seen over the duration of the pandemic is the labor force has been shrinking. And so this chart looks at the labor force by month dating back to 2015. And you can see May is typically when all of our area is at the lowest sort of total labor force. And labor force is defined as the total of employed and unemployed persons in a community. And so right now, August labor force is to the same level as the August labor force of 2017, which is about 400 less people in the labor market, give or take, than there was at the same time last year. And this is through a number of reasons. Nationally, we know women have dropped out of the labor force in particular, as they are bearing significant impacts from the pandemic as it relates to childcare. Nationally, there's around 800,000 fewer women in the labor force compared to the same time last year. And then there's been some issues around early retirement, and then youth labor force participation is also at its lowest in quite some time. And so just the various health concerns, issues around work, and sort of childcare and schooling and education have led to a contraction of the labor force currently. And this is similar information. So this is labor force participation going back to 2015 in Lake County, where that was our high water mark of about 75 and just over 75%. And now Lake County is just over 68%. So about an 8% drop in labor force participation in the community. And this is just some industries impacted by the pandemic. This is only available at a workforce region level. And so the 5 counties in green on this map are reflective of the data, and just showing that leisure and hospitality was the industry sector most heavily impacted by the pandemic and continues to be in terms of total volume of new people requesting unemployment benefit claims. And then this is the short-term industry projections. So the next 2 years for Colorado. Accommodation and food service, CDLE is expecting about a 9.3% contraction in that industry, as well as arts and entertainment and recreation seeing about an 8.6% contraction. This is an occupation. So industry is a broad level, the field in which a business operates. And then the occupation is a specific job related to an employee. And aligning with the industry impacts, our occupations are seeing similar contractions in the service sector fields. This chart looks at our registrants at the Workforce Center. And so across the rural resort area, heavily impacted across the board. And you can see the main difference with Lake County. We were seeing a high number of those that have a high school or equivalent education, where across the rural resort sub area, the impact was about evenly felt with bachelor's degree holders as well as high school or equivalent education. Gender and median age was about the same for Lake County as the rural resort. So slightly more impacts to men, 53 to 46.5. And sort of a more advanced, kind of further along in the career for workers at a median age of 38 for our new registrations. And this slide looks at when they register with the workforce system, they indicate what type of occupation they would like to have or where they would like to work, and kind of relating to the high impacts in the leisure and hospitality sector. The majority of our registrants are looking to work in the food service, bartenders, waiters and waitresses, retail sales, cooks, sales, and those professions. And I think that's important when we go back to the first couple slides looking at wages, the relative affordability and costs as it associates with childcare in a profession where wages sort of lag behind community averages a little bit, and then the ability of kind of the consumer of that care to bear any increased costs. And that is it for me. I'm more than willing to answer any questions.
Thanks so much, Mark. I really appreciate it. Commissioner Mudge or Commissioner Glenn, do you have questions for Mark right now at this point? Janine, do you have any questions?
I don't think I have any questions for Mark. Thank you very much. I think this gives me some questions for our unmet needs committee and to kind of correlate some trends that we're seeing. But no, I don't have anything else. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. And if any reason the PDF I sent to Janine did not come through, I can resend as needed. So.
Thanks. Janine, do you have any questions or any information on this?
I don't think so. It's a lot of good data. Mark, is there anywhere where you guys keep data specific to childcare in different labor markets? I know you made some good references to it. Or do you know of any other statewide resources where that's being tracked?
I think the State Department of Human Services, I knew there was a statewide child care assessment. One of my counterparts in Larimer County did a state level report that I can dig up specifically on child care related issues. Locally, we have good information on sort of wages, the skills in demand in terms of job posting and the skills that the job seeker or the employees would have. And I think in Lake County currently childcare positions are dominated by in-home, where in Eagle and Summit County, that's certainly a large portion of the occupational mix, but there are some, a number of childcare providers. And so, one consideration of that breakout of the occupation or sort of how the jobs are available is, relates back to benefits available for the employee. And so sometimes like an in-home care may be able to get slightly more of an hourly rate, but they're not necessarily covered by a level of benefits or vice versa.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Any data you have on the statewide? I knew there was some work that was done. I just wasn't quite sure where to start to find it. So that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Of course, my pleasure, and always happy to support.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Let's see, how can I stop?
All right. Fellow commissioners, we will move on to agenda item number 5, which is the boiler repair. And so I'm going to turn it over to Amber right now to talk us through that boiler repair. Let's see. Amber, are you still there?
I don't think I see her, but oh, there she is. Let me try to unmute her.
Okay. I don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, let me see. She did send me an
Sorry,
email.
I'm here.
Sorry, Amber. Okay, Amber, do you need to share your screen for the boiler repair quote?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, so just some background for folks that are not in the loop. We have 2 boilers in the courthouse building. One of them has failed. Tolan Mechanical, who does all of our heating, came out, took it apart, and this is what they found. So the boiler is comprised of different sections. I think there's about 12 in there. So we've got a cracked section in the boiler that needs to be replaced. That has to be done to make it operational. So that is this first quote that they sent for $9,448. The second quote that they sent over is for this number 6 valve that is attached to the boiler. It is not a must do, but the boiler is leaking and we're having to empty a 5-gallon bucket every day or every other day-ish. So I would highly recommend to the board, in addition to replacing the section as needed, to replace this valve so we're not wasting water. And then the third quote that they sent over is this here. This is for a re-gasket of the boiler. I got a little more clarification from Chris this morning about that. He is recommending this because there is evidence of old leakage in the boiler that regasketing would solve. And even if the boiler is off, it can leak from those gaskets. He is a little bit nervous and wants to point out that if we take the entire boiler apart and regasket, we could end up having another failed section in there that would need to be replaced. So that is a risk in doing this. But he also wanted me just to bring up to folks that the boiler is over 30 years old. And so knowing that we do not have an engineering or replacement plan in place, he recommends doing this while the boiler is taken apart, because if we have an issue come up, then we have to do all the demo and time spent to take apart and put back together again and pay that cost.
Okay. All right, and this is from Tolan Mechanical, who we already have a contract with to service that system, yes?
Correct.
Okay.
And Amber, the replacement of that is not, like you said, there needs to be a larger assessment of the entire courthouse for really an engineered plan rather than replacing this piece, right?
You know, Sarah, I'm not sure. I don't think this is an option. I don't think we can operate on just one boiler. I can ask that. I have not asked that question, and I can call Chris right now and ask him that while we're on the phone together. But that was not my understanding, is like we could forego this and start engineering and replacement in 2 years and just operate on one boiler. It was that we need to do this, and then we also need to be doing the engineering and replacement plan.
Right. No, that was my understanding as well.
Okay, sorry.
I just wanted to see if you, to kind of clarify that the replacement of a boiler or the system is not, is a lot more involved than deciding to do that today without some of that work that needs to be done and the assessment from Tolan.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris and I have discussed that a little bit, and this is just him taking really a guess for me, but we're looking at probably, he's estimating $100,000 worth of engineering work, and then the project cost to do all the replacement would be about $1 million.
Okay. Commissioner Glenn, do you have any questions for Amber at this point? I guess not. Sarah, do you have any further questions for Amber right now?
I don't. Thank you.
Okay. So go ahead, Sarah.
I'm sorry, I said I don't, and then I had a question.
It's okay.
What is the time frame that we can get these things taken care of, Amber?
So I would recommend to you all that if this is something that we are going to do, that you approve this work today. Knowing how hard it is to get Chris to come in for projects, I would guess that we're at least 2 or more weeks out from even getting him on site. So I think we need to make this decision quickly. And then it may be faster than that. I just know that how busy he is on other projects. And so it may be a few weeks before we actually get him on site to do this work.
I don't think I have any concerns about each of the proposed features of repair to address. Does the board have any thoughts or concerns about not doing all three, not addressing all three recommendations?
I don't. I think that the longer we put it off, the worse shape it'll end us up in the long run. So I don't have any problem doing all three of them right now at this point.
Okay, I would agree. Let's see. So I'll make a motion to approve all three recommendations for the boiler repair, including the work around the cracked boiler, the valve, and the regasket of the boiler.
Second? Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I didn't know if you wanted me to put in there the total cost, and I hadn't added that up on my end. But I'll just say as the costs are presented.
All right, I will second that motion. Commissioner Glenn, do you have any further conversation on this boiler repair or any further discussion on the motion on the floor?
I do not.
All right, Commissioner Mudge?
No, thank you.
All right, yeah, no problem. All right, seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right. Thank you very much. So we'll move on to the next item on our agenda.
Kayla,
Reports
before you
from the-
guys move on,
Yeah. Yeah.
would someone on the board like to sign those quotes and send them back? Would you like me to sign them and send them back?
Amber, if you want to sign them and send them back, that would be fine with me.
Okay, I will do that today, and I will keep you all in the loop when I get a timeline from Jonathan and Chris.
All right, sounds great. Thanks so
Thank you,
much,
Amber.
Amber. I really appreciate you being on top of that. All right, so we'll move on to our next item on our list, which is reports, minutes, bills, and payroll. Let's see here. So we have public trustee report for the third quarter of 2020 and bills and payroll for the pay period ending October 9th, 2020. I will make a motion that we approve the public trustee report for the third quarter 2020 and bills and payroll for pay period ending October 9th, 2020.
Second.
All right, is there any further discussion? Commissioner Glenn?
No, I have nothing.
Commissioner Mudge?
No, thank you.
All right, seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, great. And that brings us to the end of our agenda today. Board members, if you will please email me your availability for Thursday so that we can lock down a time to award the bid for the Huck Finn ice rink lighting. That would be fantastic. And we will see you all next week. Thank you.
Just while Commissioner Marcella.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm trying to see if Amber is still on here, but on Thursday, it looks like earlier in the morning before 9 or 9:30, and then a window between maybe 3 or 4, I think, between the calendars, the 3 calendars between you, me, and Amber that are up. That looks like some.
Okay. Do you want to maybe try for like 8 a.m. or 3
Yep.
p.m.? 8 a.m.?
8 works for me.
Okay. Patty, I'll update the planner. Mark, does 8 a.m. on Thursday work for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. I'll update the planner and get that to Patty for distribution.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.